Okay, welcome to week 19. Fireworks galore. Everything is happening. Even Pakistan is in the fight. We'll go over Taiwan and the latest in tariff wars, and we'll talk Jerome Powell, obviously. Yesterday was uh, uh, a great day for trading. Like a lot of my stuff hit yesterday, and the price action just moved like clockwork. But yeah, lots of things to talk about. We'll look at sentiment data, of course, and we have let's see if there's still reservations available. Yes, looks like it is. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys in July after Independence Day weekend. I'll be going both days, but in case you're free, yeah, pop in. Eversley will be there for sure, so we'll have some decent representation. And yeah, they also have some nice live streams on different topics, and a bunch of them have hit. So you can see the latest in their live stream archives here. But yeah, let me drop this in the chat in case you guys need to save this. Swab is upping their education game. All right. Let's go back to our notes and we'll go over Idiot of the Week. And there was a very fun online burn on Twitter that we'll take a look at. And I hear a slight echo. Uh, Not sure who that is. Okay, I think it's fixed. Okay. All right, let's see. But yeah, we'll take a look at this and then we'll look at Idiots of the Week. Oh, I think it's you, Joe. Let me just mute your phone. Okay,
No,
there we
it's
go.
Larry.
It's Larry? Oh, it's not. Okay. 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 Uh, I just muted somebody. The 408 number. I think that's better now. Okay. All right, cool. We'll look at idiots of the week and we'll do our usual index overview, and market is relatively channel bound at the moment, which is nice. And we'll look at fear and greed, of course. And then the fear and greed aggregate score is picking up like crazy. It's like in the 60s now, which I think is grossly unappropriate. And I still can't believe that Donald's doing his second major pump and dump. I mean, there was the first one for the first 100 days, and then this is just the second set of 100 days. And he's like, hey, go buy stocks. It's just so blatant. It's incredible. Wild times to be alive. But yes, here's some beloved prior screenshots that I still think is really relevant. And we'll go over the Stock Traders Almanac. And speaking of almanacs, the Sage of Omaha, Mr. Warren Buffett himself, is planning to retire by year end. And we'll definitely take a look at some cool articles about him. But yeah, not that everyone loves him, but being named after him kind of helped me for sure. But yeah, I, I mean, if you grew up as a Warren Wong in the 90s and 2000s, there's no way you don't know who Warren Buffett is, and you definitely know who Warren G is. You know, he's the Long Beach County rapper, the stepbrother of Dr. Dre. Okay, good times. But yeah, we'll look at SPX seasonality and see where we're tracking in our May phase. And we'll see if selling in May and going away is still appropriate. And then other fun stuff, we'll look at sector rotation, and we got some fun analytics there, of course. And if there's any individual tickers you guys want me to throw up here, let me know. And let me remove last week's screenshots. Cool. All right. And lots of earnings, fireworks. I'm a little bit scared to play earnings. Overnight risk in this market is just a little crazy. So, yeah. But yeah, we'll look at Ford's latest report, and then we'll look at swaggy stocks to see what the kiddos are trading. And then to the core news cycle, we've got some major macroeconomic developments. So let's start off. We still have our beloved couple screenshots that I left here, still more relevant than ever. So they'll stay here. Um, yeah, this Buffett indicator. It's kind of a shame that Gen Z and the Alpha kids don't appreciate who he is. I think if you're a millennial and Gen X and a boomer, obviously you know who Warren Buffett is. But yeah, okay. But yeah, we will. Oh, my spread just closed. Okay, I'll recast in just a second. No worries. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, well, no, not we don't have major updates from Japan just yet, but really we'll take a look at the peg of what is it? The US to Taiwan NT? I forgot what they call it, but yeah, their currency. We'll look at that US peg to the Taiwan dollar. And what else? Oh, this was new from last week. This is really cool. Stocks at risk from high starting valuations. And nice to see a relative distribution that's year specific. So this is kind of cool. And we do have S&P max drawdown after recession. And we just won't admit we're in a recession. It's just not helpful for all parties involved. Oh, welcome, Ross. We will definitely look to you for the latest in Indo-Pakistani relations. Let me share the session notes for you, Ross. Oops. Copy. Okay, here we go. Cool. All right. That's in the chat. And we'll review again our tariff playbook. I think it's just all over the map. I don't think we have to be that specific to like figure out Carvana or something. I mean, Trump moves markets with a single post. All right, cool. But yeah, we'll take a look at Trump's rhetoric with Powell. And I think we were all collectively saddened yesterday when rate cuts were not spiked, 500 basis points like they should be. We have a lot of debt to roll over. And gosh, the American empire is just, we're toast. We're toast. What can we say? But yes, we'll take a look at Trump's rhetoric, and it definitely looks like stagflation is here to stay. And yet another canary in the coal mine. Maersk is very unhappy with its market outlook. So we'll take a look at those specifics. And dry bulk shipping, container shipping, these are the arteries of global commerce. And, that's why there's so many strategic military bases around these shipping lanes. And it's more than just the South China Seas, but it's the Netherlands with their Rotterdam port, the new deep water blue port that was in Peru that's being built by the Chinese. Uh, yeah, these sea lanes are changing. So yeah, we'll have to stay afloat with the news, as it were. But
But
yes,
is Warren, you know that that port in Peru is actually the end of a railway that the Chinese are building between the southeast of Brazil and Peru. So there's a whole railway that goes from the coast of Brazil all the way there in Peru. So that's a big deal, you know. I mean, it means the influence of China in South America is at this point huge, you know?
incredible. Yeah, yeah. Thank you for letting us know. Is it here?
Uh,
Look.
Google something like railway from Brazil to Peru,
Oh,
something
okay.
like that. China
Peru,
railway from
Brazil,
Brazil to Peru.
China. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Wow. Okay. This is definitely Belt and Road and bricks adjacent. So yeah. So yeah, for the folks that just popped in, this is one of the key arteries that will connect the new Peruvian port built by the Chinese. It's a deep blue water port, and then here's the infrastructure to move it. So it's fascinating. And the real question is, will China be alive and solvent long enough to get their money back on these massive international capex expenses? It's like, I don't know. It's
Yeah, the
it
thing is that yeah, so you know that railway not only goes from the Atlantic to the Pacific, but it crosses the entire South America, which is a bed for, you know, meat and poultry and soy and corn
Oh,
and a
here's the
lot of,
map. Oh wow.
yeah, so a lot of, you know, products, a lot of commodities that go from Brazil and those smaller countries there to China and other Asian countries are going to benefit from it because of course the cost of transportation would decrease a lot. And so it's a little bit of a of a knife on the US back, because it decreases the dependence of China from the US in commodities, in food, etc.
Absolutely. Hmm. And then if you guys, I didn't post this in our notes, but we're having a Chinese-Cuban missile crisis yet again. And yeah, China is pursuing a total war strategy. Like I get it, but I don't think they have the money to back it up. And half finishing these projects is not good for anybody. But yeah, uh, we have to remember Brazil is going to be a 1 billion population country. It's going to be a significant economic powerhouse. You know, whether in North America or South America, I think to ignore Brazil would be very foolish.
Yeah.
And on the other side, the Asian side, we got to watch Indonesia. Same issue, right? We have a $1 billion one billion population country in the making. And a lot of them are, ethnic Chinese that are the actual real moderate Muslims. So yeah. So yeah.
Your
And
point,
then
but your point about China having the money to finish all of this is a good one. I have no idea. Probably not.
right, so this is a free infrastructure project that's going to be handed to whoever's left in these little regions. And um yeah, we'll see if there's gonna be a big dog that can keep these railroads open long enough for them to actually have something meaningful. But yeah, very cool. Thanks, Adolfo. And then welcome, Flav. Just pasted the notes for you in the chat.
Hey
But
guys,
yeah,
thanks.
yeah, let's check out other Black Swans. Um, so yes, there was just a Moscow meeting with Xi Jinping and Putin. And Putin looks like, sorry, Xi Jinping looks like he's gaining a little bit more weight and back, a little bit back to normal. But word on the street is he has like stomach cancer or throat cancer or something, and it's obviously connected to his multi-drinking habit. It's the crazy 120 proof flammable Chinese thing. But yeah, we could look at some high points and quotables from their meeting, and I obviously I'm not a fan of China, but I think there is it is impressive for folks to push back against the degenerate American hegemony. It is needed to a fair extent. We've gone off the railroads, or we've gone off the railroad track a long time ago. All right, cool. Theaters of war. Please raise your hand if you had nuclear exchange between India and Pakistan on your 2025 bingo card, because it looks like that number might be called up. Holy cow. It is a bizarre set of things happening. I did look into it quite a bit, so we can talk about this in detail. And uh, it's a tit for tat thing, not really. It seems like Pakistan was the instigator overall, and one of their TERRORIST cells was not dealt with by the Pakistani government. Therefore, India retaliated in the big way. And this is hilarious. But yes. Um, so Pakistan declares a no-fly zone, and then Ethiopian Airlines, has to fly to Beijing and is willing to enter the airspace. I believe there was a UAE plane that followed this, but it's just hilarious. And probably there's some high-level VIPs there on the plane, and they probably have clearance from Beijing on their behalf to not get their plane shot down. So if I could get my hands on the passenger list for this plane, I'm sure we would find some interesting luminaries. But yeah, that did happen, so it's just funny to me. But yes, can you imagine the Ethiopian pilots sweating bullets flying through a war zone? But yes. And then if you read between the lines, there were a number of Indian jets that were down. And then a lot of these missile batteries are Chinese sourced. I believe there's some Russian stuff, but this is really a hot proxy war between Russia and China. And I do have some good analytics to show you guys in our China section. But yeah, for the Military hardware nerds. I did list actual equipment. I think the only person that really cares might be Kurt and I. But yeah. But yes, we do have MAGA in the desert coming up. We got Mr. Fink, we got Elon Musk, and Mr. Cheeto Man heading there. This is going to be bizarre. And if you never saw there was an interesting exchange between the Royal Crown Prince and Trump. Let me see if I can find it. Crown Prince Saudi. He did a shoulder tap, and you're not allowed to touch this guy. And then Donald just taps him on the shoulder in passing. And yeah, so this happened, yeah, 2019 at the G20 summit. Um, yeah, quite kind of wild. But I hope Mr. Saudi Arabia realizes, like, look, dude, your whole fortune was built on stolen refineries from the British and Americans. So don't forget who's your real boss. And shout out to our slain hero Gonzalo Lira, who first penned one of his greatest videos that got me into geopolitics in a big way was Saudi Arabia is the 51st state of the American empire. And in many ways, it is true. The US dollar, it's not gold backed, it's oil backed. And anyone who trades for oil outside the US dollar has met a very sad end, unless you're like Russia or China. But if you're an individual, and whether it's Saddam or Gaddafi or Kim Jong-il, all these guys, yeah, they exited before their time. Well, we can leave it at there. But yes, pivoting to the Ukrainian conflict, it is just shenanigans. The largest drone attack was very swiftly handled, some 600 large drones. It was a very large deployment and just kind of obscene. But yeah, we'll take a look at what was happening there. And it seems like the mineral deals is signed, but this is just war under the guise of peace. And Dick Cheney is very happy. And as a rule, I never want Dick Cheney happy. So yeah. Um, and then we're exchanging, chess pieces here with airports. This is not good for anybody. But yeah, definitely total war. I forgot. I had a good, oh yeah, here's the meme. Okay. Let me drop this in the notes. Where should I put this? Yeah, I'll just leave it here. Uh, yeah, only 40 million people just become a state already. Oh, good morning, sir. Oh, this is great. All right. I think I told you guys my Mossad adjacent recruiting story. We'll have to save that for another time, but I think a lot of you guys knew about it when it was happening. This was like from 2, 3 years ago. Some Spec Ops boys fronting as underground detection companies wanted to talk to the firm that I was working at the time, because we do water pipe failure analysis. And yeah, our technology would be decent for figuring out mines and whatnot. But yeah, interesting side note. We could talk about that offline sometime. But yes, pivoting back to currency news, we will definitely look at the latest charts with Bitcoin breaking 100,000. As we speak, it is 102 and $30 right now. It has gone up an amazing 5.56% today. And if you're a gun guy, 5.56 is a fun caliber. It's a superheated 22. I'd rather be shot by an AK round than the 5.56. The 5.56 is the AR round, the AR-15 one. It will swim through your body, find an artery, and swim up the artery. It's horrific. It's because the caliber is so small and fast. And an AK round will just go through you. But yeah, it's a different problem. Okay, but yes, fun stuff. We'll look at the latest in inflows between gold ETFs and Bitcoin ETFs. And despite gold's immense popularity, we're still trailing behind crypto pickup for the ETFs. So we'll take a look at that. And as we alluded to earlier, we had a phenomenal 10-year treasury auction, and people are definitely diving for cover. And we're seeing this in the currency markets and in the IOU market as well between sovereign nations. So we'll take a glance at this. Pivoting to domestic news, let's see. We'll check out XRT, of course. That should be up, relatively speaking. But yes, in our latest in, I guess, illegal containment, we're gonna pay $1,000 maybe for self-deportations. And as a tax-paying U.S. citizen, this is, rubbing salt in everyone's face here because um, this kind of looks like a situation ripe for abuse. But I'm sure the 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 big what's his name? The big border guy, the new Homeland Security guy, whatever. I think he's gonna figure out some decent checks and balances against this. But paying criminals to deport, I understand it saves money, but for the tax-paying U.S. citizens, like we're dying out here, like WTF. It's just money for everyone except actual middle class US citizens that keep this country afloat. But yes, enough of my rants. All right. Pivoting to our US energy grid. We've talked about this a little bit, and the Spanish situation, as we kind of discussed, was it 1 or 2 weeks ago? It's a little bit convoluted. There's all kinds of wild cards in that situation, but this next headline kind of relates to it. US electricity from fossil fuels dips below 50% for the first time ever. And as we learned from Spain's painful refiring up of the electric grid, very few power plants are self-generating. They need existing power to even turn on their boilers and everything else. So only hydroelectric dams can legitimately turn on, relatively speaking. It's just, these big, water run steam turbines. There's a lot of cold cranking amps to get it up to operational speed. Okay. So yeah, that's that problem. Um, and then talking about US ramp up of manufacturing, it's just hard. And we'll take a look at this one jeweler out of Thailand that just cannot move machines and staff to the Americas. It's just not going to happen. Okay, pivoting to our purple state down south. There is a school choice here, and nothing better than a little competition for the purple-haired freaks. All right, so good for them. And then Real IDs has had a big whatchamacallit, promotion. And even my California Real ID is up for renewal. And the amount of spam I've received regarding this is kind of obscene. They're really pushing down on this. And I think I saw a headline of Gavin Newsom updating, well, he wants to update the US population in light of the illegals and everything to be more equitable to everybody. And that's code word for rewriting uh, the the House of Representative districts to keep stacking, the lower house of Congress. Not great. And what did Ross say? The first American Pope is selected? What? White smoke? Wait, do we really declare the Pope yet?
Yeah, it's American.
Oh, it is? I thought it was
Yeah.
gonna be the black guy. No?
No,
Uh, we have an American Pope. It's not Donald Trump, right? With his
no,
picture.
no. They quit from that idea.
Okay, okay. Um, that's fascinating. Okay. I'm sure they're writing the news article as we speak. But okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, the Vatican has a financial it's a financial mess, so maybe the faithful from the US will help fix the financial mess in the Vatican, you know.
God, if you're looking to American Cardinals to save your ass, yeah, that's something else. I don't know how like who's Catholic here. I don't really care, but there is a Catholic in hiding. He's the American one. What's his name? What's his name? What's his name? He wrote the letter to Trump a while ago. Um, I think it's this guy, Maria. No, it's okay. Not important in this context. Okay, well, it's okay. Well, we can fast forward. But yes, I'm with Ross. Very suspect, or very sus, as the kids call it. Okay, we'll talk about consumer debt. The U.S. consumer is running out of money, and student loans have been blowing up, and the red pill men's dating space has been talking about this forever. Like I know these stats by heart. So US school loans are $3 trillion and 2 trillion is held by the women. And these are for garbage degrees, obviously. And they're just diversity hires galore. It's like, yes, there are superstars, but they're few and far between. Okay, but yes, they're getting wage garnishment and all kinds of fun things happening to them. And it's well deserved. Let's see. Pizza Balla. Oh, okay. Here's the latest in Pope. Yeah. Pizza Balla
So
was the
someone put out fake news. Do you see the blue spiking up like an hour ago? They were putting out fake
ah
news on Twitter that the Italian one, s yeah, the Parolin. I had some bets on that. So, and then I exited when I saw it go back down.
that's amazing. That's so fun. Um
It's
yeah.
funny if they would make their own bets as they're voting on it.
Oh, there's some degenerate Cardinals making money on the side, for sure. I mean, isn't that what Godfather Part 3 was about? Chirp chirp. Good times. Pivoting to more Italian news, race stock is amazing and super hot. And there's again a bifurcation of the economy, right? If you were already rich before COVID, you're very rich now. And if you weren't rich, you might be hurting, unless you're selling volatility. But yes, we'll take a look at this. And yeah, um, there are people doing well. Like even JFK didn't know about the Great Depression. He learned about it when he went to college after World War II. It's crazy. But yeah. Um, Pivoting to more domestic news, the number one hater just got the regulatory job. It's kind of a big deal. So more RFK Jr. Success. And I'm just happy that RFK Jr. is alive. Uh, I know the House of Camelot had a lot of skeletons in the closet. No one knows it more than me, but all things considered, um, I'm glad that the family has some leadership potential still left, even though RFK is fighting the whole clan by himself. And I would know all about that personally. So I salute him from that point of view. All right. Other than that, we do have more nuclear progress, and supposedly China has the first melt-proof thorium reactor. And we can't take that at face value, obviously. But yeah, we'll take a look at that. And then Rite Aid is broke again. No surprises there. But yeah, we'll obviously take a look at the Oracle from Omaha, and I'm pretty sure I've read every book about him. And yeah, we should have like a Warren Buffett pop quiz. But yeah, uh, kind of a terrifying guy, honestly. He is not a good guy. He might have been in the beginning, but once he got the Goldman Sachs board membership, it was all game over. Okay. I don't have much real estate news, but we will take a look at the ITB Home Builders ETF. And on tech news, we do have a lot of updates. And I still love this bubblicious diagram. Again, shout out to Ross for this one. And I still love this deep seek thing. But yeah, we will definitely talk search and the potential threat to Google's dominance. And there's a great post here on Twitter. When this was announced, there was not a single green candle in the post 2 hours of Apple's announcement. Uh, Now, did Apple insiders have a short position on Google? Good question. If you pay off the right person, it doesn't matter. So yeah. Um, so yeah, we'll take a look at that. And so that's I guess a Mag 7 turf war, as it were. And then pivoting to Elon Musk news, Tesla sales aren't doing great. Gee whiz, the sky is still blue and water is still wet, but God help us all. Yeah, so we'll take a look at the sales figures. And then Sam Altman is not having a great week, apparently. It's come clean that there are a lot of counterintelligence operations happening there. Can we say it like that? And shout out to Indonesia for pushing back. This was surprising. I've never seen Indonesia flex their muscle like this before. They've been very nice, moderate Muslims eating Chinese food for a long time. But wow, fascinating. Someone forgot to bribe the Indonesians.
But do you know what that coin is?
No, not really. What's
It's
it
not
for?
just a coin, it's like a digital ID, like scanning your eye and putting your biometrics on the blockchain.
Okay. Understood. All right.
And then they partner with Kalshi, this betting site, somehow. And I don't know. I gotta find out more about
What?
it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Eye scanning crypto.
What? What?
So this just happened. Yeah, it's like verified ID, having your ID on the blockchain. So they're saying like, okay, so when you go on a dating site, you know you're not talking to a bot because they've been verified by biometrics and you can check it on the blockchain. So put yourself on the blockchain, man.
Uh, Holy cow, that's hilarious. I didn't know the Kalshi connection.
Oh, see,
That's
see, online dating match group who owns Tinder will also begin a pilot. It's right there.
online dating. Oh,
Yeah.
Match Group. Holy shit. Oh my
So,
God.
so they're gonna have a pilot on this to verify actual humans are behind, because it's all AI and fake. So,
Yes, and Pornhub is owned by a rabbi.
okay.
I know a lot about the Match Group. I have big active shorts against them, and they're down quite a bit today. Yeah, this is incredible. Thank you. Huge find. I didn't even notice those specifics.
Yeah, so it's
Wow.
not like the typical crypto coin. It's like tied to your identity.
Absolutely.
Not
Let me
scary at all.
Not scary at all. Here's Match.com right here. I am watching this, guys. Down 6% today. Um, Warren, if you think Warren's a good zero DTE guy, he's an even better swing trader. But yeah, incredible. Okay, good stuff. Yeah, we'll have to keep our eye on that one. There is danger afoot. LinkedIn is a hotbed for swiping right. You know what, Ross? I have pulled dates off LinkedIn before. But it was like a follow-up. Like I met them elsewhere and I couldn't get a hold of them. I had to reach out to LinkedIn to ask them out. But I have done it before. Okay, good times. Um, Pivoting to job news. Holy shit. Wow. Okay. This isn't really job news, but it's job adjacent. Chapter 7 individual bankruptcy has spiked quite a bit. And then I got some good analytics on actual tech postings. This is really sad. And like, there's a bigger macro breakdown. Let me just grab the screenshot really quick. Okay. So this is looking at year-on-year change in US tech employment on the specifics. But this is the aggregate. So if you're trying to find a tech job right now, you're basically at COVID lockdown levels. It might be worse at some parts. So yeah, it is crazy. Um, Ross tell me more. LinkedIn, the pimp game on LinkedIn. I'm just sign up for my workshop. Subscribe to my newsletter. Do I sound like a pickup artist yet? Or a dating coach on YouTube? Good times. Uh, Pivoting to international news. Uh, we should talk about like passport bros and dating internationally. It's just hilarious. There's a Filipino forum, and it's just dumb white boys getting fleeced by like, married Filipino women, one after another. It's just hilarious. Um, I mean, dumb white guys and dumb Asian girls is a match made in heaven. What can I say? Okay, but yes, international news. We'll take a look at EEM and emerging markets and EWZ, our Brazilian play here. But yeah, we'll update these screenshots momentarily. Um, Pivoting to other international news. Yes, we did mention this. Yes, we have MAGA in the desert coming up. Um, Larry Fink's going, Elon's going. It just sounds ridiculous. But yeah. We have a trade deal with the UK. Who the hell cares? But yeah, it's just the Brits. But to be fair, uh, the Brits set the the Brits set the geopolitical powder keg that we're all dealing with now. So, the British Crown, when it went German, did do some weird things. And the current line of royals is German if you look at the hereditary tree. And if you ever looked at royal British monarchs in general in their history, nothing is more convoluted and insane. Okay? Nothing. It has been bonkers for the empire whose sun never sets and blah, 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 blah. Okay. Um, and then other adjacent news, we all know this. Prince Andrew has been blackmailed to the high heavens, and it's kind of obvious. And then I mean, since this is an open secret practically, if you know about the Rotterdam scandals in the UK and whatnot, and these rape gangs that have been operating since the 70s, and I always wondered why that wasn't punished severely. It's because the Royals are doing even worse dirt, and this is a divide and conquer strategy. Like, that sounds diabolical, but can anyone argue a counterpoint? And if you look at Japanese murder law and whatnot, they have very interesting stipulations around that. Like, there's a 15-year statute of limitations and whatnot. And I got interested because crime in Japan is very rare. So when it does happen and it kind of disappears, there's elites involved, and that's what it is. The worst, probably, this is a little heavy, but the worst like student gang rape assault. It was like one girl that was like kidnapped for like 50 days or something, raped by like 10 to 50 boys and crazy. And she was pregnant when they found her corpse. That was all Japanese. And one of the kids is really connected, which is why the story got buried. So yeah, it's just diabolical. So yeah, but yeah, if and so yeah, about England. On a positive note, ask any Indian, where's the best Indian food? It's in London, and a lot of great Pakistani Indian chefs there. I still haven't found this outside of London. This is Fishwari naan. It's a leftover from the Punjabi exodus towards Pakistan, and it has like sweet almond rinds, honey, a little bit of brown sugar, and it's a sweet naan, like it's a sweet layered naan thing, which is incredible. I can't find anyone who can make it in the US. I go to Pakistani restaurants, they're like, there's too much labor involved. Like, can I order it? They don't care. If anyone knows where to find us, please let me know. My Pakistani guy is not good enough, but yeah. All right. Pivoting to oil news, we did discover CL's volatility chart here, and we'll take a look if it's moved since last week. And looks like Asia is very energy agnostic. They'll buy from anybody, especially Modi. That guy's he's officially the Russian middleman for lack of a better category. But yeah. Um, yeah. Precious metals. Well, there's a nice GDX chart on here. We'll take a look at. Very beautiful trend lines. We'll take a look at that. And yeah, in case you're still curious about the currency risk, gold would be a fun, true and classic refuge of safety. Uh, Good stuff there. And then pivot to China news. Lots of updates here. I didn't know, I didn't want to overdo it, but I do want to focus on the Russian and China relations for a second, and we'll look at these specifics. And they're not acting like allies anymore. And we'll discuss this a little bit. And you see this in how the airplanes behave when they avoid each other's airspace, and they've been doing this for like the last 2 years on and off, which doesn't show positive relations. Um, and then there's been a lot of weird things happening in China. I know that might be that sounds a little little understated, but there are weird things happening, and actually studied Chinese history from an outsider's perspective, really as a Westerner. And there's a couple a lot of things that bubble up. But when records start burning, I get interested, and I'll explain why. If you know anything about the eunuchs, the castrated ministers of the Chinese court, they held very high ranks because they were castrated. But that didn't mean they weren't stealing things. They still had families, wives, mistresses, whatever. Um, and every time they want to hide what's been stolen, they light the Forbidden City on fire. It's a classic play. And then pivoting to the U.S. equivalent of this, anyone remember September 10th? What Mr. Rumsfeld was saying about the Pentagon? Anyone remember this? And what happened the next day? We don't have to get too deep into 9/11. But I have footnotes, but we're not gonna go there. I just want to point out that um China is being robbed blind. And when banks start going up in fire, let alone being blocked off by tanks, it's weird things happening. Okay, good times. And then it seems like a major capitulation by the Chinese in this tariff exchange. And here's the thorium reactor I mentioned. And there's lots of ways to keep things melt proof. This is a bit of a nothing burger. Um, but yeah, I have been on the Chernobyl, uh, Chernobyl YouTube Shorts binge because there's so many little great little scenes there. I haven't seen the series yet, but I would like to soon. Okay. Dry bulk shipping and container ships is again a great barometer of global trade, and some of the last cargo ships have just arrived. So these are 30 to 40 day round one-way trips depending on weather and the path. I think it can be 20 days if the tides are working favorably. But yeah, wild times. So yeah. What else? We'll take a look at Chinese rate cuts and look at FXI and whatnot. And then I really want to talk about what's happening in Hong Kong. Sorry, not Hong Kong, Taiwan. And this might really break the Hong Kong dollar peg. So we'll take a look at this. And there's a whole chain of custody that's behind this. And I've been out of the loop for, I guess, 15 years now. But at the time when I was working in Macau, the go-to offshore strategy was to fly to Singapore, set up an account, corporations there, little mini family office. Like it's very turnkey there. But all the elites like to park their dirty money with Hong Kong dollars in Singapore, in a Singaporean account. This is related to charging protection for corporations and um, disclosures, and just it's a very Byzantine maze of regulations and tax dodges, but that was the standard play for the Chinese elites. Singapore bank account, Hong Kong dollars inside. Like I just remember that really well. Okay, and obviously China is not publishing key stats, and they've always been jiggering the numbers. And remember, one of the most important stats that they stopped publishing it's been almost 3 years now is the youth unemployment rate. Because what's on the other side of that equation, right? The 1989 Tiananmen Square revolt. And China is very, very scared of all those possibilities right now. So yeah, China is literally dying in front of our eyes. You're watching like it's like the equivalent of watching the USSR go bankrupt. And it's over. It's over. It's over. But Alibaba stock is still flying high, which confuses me. All right. Awesome. Let me reshare the notes. Questions, comments, guys? It's a pretty in-depth highlight reel, but yeah, all kinds of shenanigans. Let me see. I need to refill my zero DT order, but yeah, let's start with our poll. And while you guys do that, I will do a nice little trade to pay for some lunch. Okay. All right. You should see the poll and let me load American Association of Individual Investors, meanwhile, for our many friends gathered here today to make money. All right. And question of the week was what source most influences your stock market sentiment? Um, I don't see zero hedge comments listed here, but yes, that's how Warren likes to roll. Okay. Looks like we got a couple of votes. Let me end the poll now. Vast majority of folks said sideways, 100% in fact. I would concur actually. And let's compare that against our folks here. We're a lot more bullish than last week. That's like a 50% increase. That's ridiculous. And a decrease of the bears and the swing voters are about the same. Um, Maybe someone's taking their medication. I don't know. But yeah. Um, yeah, my own analysis and judgment might be flawed, sweetheart. And yeah, interesting. Not a lot of sane players in the AAII marketplace, looks like. And how many folks are gold holders, like physical gold holders? I would really question that. Okay. Um, oh, actually, that was a decent screenshot. Let me grab this little thing here. We'll put it into our notes. It is I do like to see the question of the week. I wonder if they would take requests. Since we look at this weekly, we could maybe submit a question. I don't know if they would honor it. I'm sure we could send something. Um, this is interesting. I need to look at all of this. I look at half of this. Um, that's interesting. I don't know what this is. Wow, Warren, if you scroll through the page, you might learn something new. But yeah, what question would we want to ask if we could talk to this membership? Hmm. Favorite sectors? Least favorite sectors? Favorite holdings? That'd be kind of interesting. Okay. Good food for thought. SVOG announcements. I don't think we know who's talking just yet. Um, yeah, I don't know. Looks like it's not published yet. It's not good that we don't list this fast enough. I need to talk to Dennis. But yeah, since most of us are gathered here, there are still seats available at the SWAB event coming up, July 11th and 12th. I'll be there both days. Just come for, when it fits your schedule. Eversley Forte will also be there. If you're going, please let me know. It'll be great to hang out with you guys. And if Warren can get his act together, we can maybe have SVOG t-shirts by then. Let me write that down. An SVOG jacket would be badass. Have a board of directors edition. And don't worry, for former members of the board, I'd have to take care of them as well. So I'm sure Larry doesn't want to be left out. Okay, good times there. Lots of the Swab Lives events have been posted and they're online as well. So lots of cool topics of all kinds of stuff. So in case you haven't seen this, I would recommend taking a look.
Hey, I posted the advanced book, which is happening this week online, which is the follow-up to the event, the live event. It's in education, down a bit.
Oh, sweet.
So that's the PDF because the one you'll go to will be super simple. So this has more, it's like 100
Yeah,
pages, the
yeah.
advanced one.
Perfect.
So this one is
Excellent.
not going to be in town. The closest will be like in Anaheim, I believe. So it's nice they put it online this week. So
Oh, great find. Thank you, sir. Verticals, the fundamental, beautiful. And even I'm a little weak on the risk graph, and I could always use some improvements there. All right, very cool. All right, cool. Let's go to Idiot of the Week. I have a non-trading one, which is kind of funny. I don't understand the full context of this, but apparently this happened. Okay. Uh, so this is May 2nd. All right. There was some shit talking somewhere. I don't know. And one guy flexed like my dad. My dad was the submarine commander for this thing. And then this guy replied, "Well, I dropped death charges onto him. Give him my regards." Holy shit. Uh this is just a crazy burn. It's nuts. I just want to share this. I don't get the context. There's this weird chain of custody for the submarine in question, but it looks entertaining at least. Fascinating, but yeah. Um, so basically, a moron pulled the "Do you know who my dad is?" card, and then this guy's like, "Yeah, I shot at him. I throw explosives in his face." That's just crazy. Okay. Sorry, Warren's having too much fun. All right, let's go to our actual idiots of the week. And I know there's going to be major contenders, but let's just pick the top two to be respectful of everyone's time. Because we're going to try to end the show at 12 o'clock. All right. Never listening to any of you again. Lost life savings. Palantir $40,000 loss. 85,000 loss in 3 days. Everyone is afraid to share their losses now, so I'll give you some. Well, there goes my life savings again. Just cook me. Oh my God. And you tell these guys, why don't you hire a CFA? No, I'll do it myself. uh, and these kids haven't figured out you can sell options. You don't have to buy them. Oh my God. Okay. Any favorites, guys? I guess we got to go with Palantir. And what else? Who has the most comments? Lost life savings. All right, let's pick those two. Okay. Oh God. Oh, the opening like phrase just tells you and it sets the stage for this Kabuki massacre. I'm a freshman in college. And this money I saved up my whole life. Stupidly gambled it on zero DT options and lost it all. Need help coping with this as it is destroying me mentally. Uh, especially considering how much money it was. I know it's my fault and I take full responsibility for it. Just need any advice on how to deal with it. Poor kid. Life savings of $9,000. Obviously, he's not Chinese because even the Chinese kids save more money on that with minimum wage by the time he got to college. But yeah, that's ridiculous. Um, yeah. What's the top comment? Time heals all wounds. Unless you do it again. Oh my God. Oh, this is so good. Uh, oh my God. This is so good. I gotta save the screenshot. Oh, it's so good. I've never seen a beat up Pepe like this. Pepe the Frog. Blink twice if you need help, homie. Oh my God. Okay. Sorry, we're having too much fun here. Um, yeah. Uh, okay, let's do a deeper dive and let's look at the man behind the post. Um, let's see. So that's that first post. Gaming laptops. Oh, that's not a good trend. I'm 14 and this is deep. Oh no. This is oh my God. And this is what's his name? What's his retard's name? The borderline homosexual. Jaden. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Jaden Smith is their meme for the "I'm 14 and this is deep" subreddit. That's beautiful. Little minor thing about Jaden or the Will Smith family. So they named the girls boys' names, like Willow, blah blah blah, and they named the girls. All right, they named the boys with girls' names, Jaden, blah 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 blah. And I used to tutor kids a lot. Um, One of my favorite kids, his dad happened to be the president of Zoho, which is how I got in. Um, he named his eldest a girl name called Bailey, and my student was bullied endlessly for it. And he wasn't 6'2". He was like 5'4". Like it was not a good combination. So yeah, in case you guys have kids, never name them androgynous names. It's not good for business. Okay. Um, yeah, all right. This guy's an idiot. He plays video games and doesn't know what he's doing. He might be an economics major. All right. Loser number two, we'll move on. Fancy Cattle 5914. Palantir $40,000 loss. Poof. How do you lose money on Palantir? You go late. You show up very, very late to the party, I guess. All right, but yes. He lost 10% of the portfolio in after hours with dark pool stuff, and then lost most of it during the daylight hours. On Robinhood, no less. And what's the top comment? You put half your portfolio into short dated options over 15% out of the money. I think you would have better odds buying Powerball. Oh my God, somebody here knows what Delta is. Uh, oh my God, that reminds me of our former beloved court jester. And how many of us took turns trying to educate her on what is Delta? Uh, I kind of saw the writing on the wall and just stopped subscribing to the madness. But I think Rob got caught up in another, a couple hundred hours worth of discussion on what is Delta. Okay. Yeah. All right, so those are your two losers of the week. Hope you feel better about your portfolio, guys. You could be, as dumb as a freshman in college. Okay. Getting to our index overview, let's go to Thinkorswim and let me drag our nice charts out here. And boy, am I getting hungry. We need some lunch money, Warren. All right, let's start with ES and work our way down. All right. So yeah, we'll go through the four big indexes and we'll go through smart money, kind of smart money, and then dumb money, right? All right. All right. S&P 500, future side, looking at on balance volume, we are seeing an approach towards the zero line, but we've been under the zero line officially since late February, 228. So yeah, no one is accumulating net long positions with ES futures, all right? That's the key takeaway. And let's go to the charts here. Or sorry, the analytics of put call ratio and whatnot. All right. Is there a falling knife today? Not really. They're just picking up cheap hedges for the next red day. And then since Dave's not here, I would like to point out that it's still very, very low volume, and a couple of whales can splash around the market in a big way. And what is Ross saying? Uh, if I'm reading the notation correctly, you're saying the S&P may reject the 2 sigma moving average. I the 200-day moving average. Oh, okay. So that's the black. All right, right here. So 500 in magenta, 200 moving average right here. And yes, it's going to try to test that. And again, this is a dead cat bounce, guys. Donald Trump telling you to buy stocks is a sign of weakness. It's not a sign of strength. He's going for short-term uptake. And we just got to be smarter than that. So, and don't forget, we've talked about this before. I've shown you guys in real time when the put call ratio spikes with the ES futures, they're picking up shorts for the next bloodbath, and we haven't had a bloodbath in several days, so it's coming. You're gonna see another circuit breaker day right around the corner. And to figure out if it is the falling knife, we go to the real barometer for today's tradable book of business, which is SPX. Put call ratio fair value is 1.3. So 1.148 is very normal, very faintly bullish. The bearish deltas from 0 to 20 are 64%. Very, very boring. So yeah, but yeah, we ATR is still high and we don't see a breakout just yet, but the spring is coiled and ready to set to do something at least. Okay. If we pivot to the other indexes, we should see some pronounced optimism today, especially with Trump's second official pump and dump message. Here's SPY, fair value again 1.3. 1.003 is very optimistic. And you can see that reflected in the deltas 0 to 20 and an anemic 45%. So very, very retail hopeful. But similar to the ES futures, there we haven't broken above the zero line since late February. So all these folks that went long have been losing their shirt, and it makes sense. It makes sense. So yeah, um, February was a very long time ago. All right, let's pivot to the other Nasdaq darling, the freaking the Nasdaq side of the house. Nasdaq very green, and Nasdaq touching the about to touch the 200-day MA right here. So for Ross's benefit, tech is the tip of the spear yet again. So yes, I'm still learning the baseline figures for Nasdaq futures, but we will note it is 1.0 right now. Also still learning NDX. But if QQQ is 1.3, I'd assume this is comparable. And the NASDAQ 100 here is a flamingly green 0.544. Very, very optimistic. And we see it forming a nice doji already against the 200-day moving average. That's not suspicious. But yeah, that's flamingly green. It's really a little bizarre. So that means the Qs is also going to be flamingly green. I mean, Nasdaq looks cheap. Sorry, Nvidia looks cheap at 117, but this might be a crowded trade. All right, let's see, 1.128, and that's the Qs for you. Sleepy bearish deltas at 0 to 20. So yeah, still faintly green, but it's weird that the NDX crowd is more bullish than the Q crowd. Let's go to the Russell 2000, the real small business engine that keeps America afloat and jobs employed. Very bullish on the Russell's futures here. Holy cow. IWM's fair value is 2.3. So fair value is north of 2. For this to be less than a quarter of that is flamingly weird. But again, I'm still learning this baseline behavior. Let's go to the rut, which we're also trying to figure out. 1.061. That's half. That's more than half. That's only like 45% of fair value at 2.3. This is very, very bullish, and we are absolutely dancing with that 200-day moving average. In fact, Russell 2000 has broken it a little bit, but that is still a doji candle. A lot of uncertainty. And yeah, sleepy bearish deltas. Let's go to the Qs and see how that's shaping up. Qs. Oh, sorry, Qs. IWM, sorry. Warren has not had coffee this morning. All right. IWN's fair value 2.3, 1.4 is very bearish. Sorry, we're very bullish. So a little bit odd. And on balance volume, this has been weak since early February and has not crossed the zero line also since the third week of February. It's getting close, but it's still no cigar. So a little bizarre. So we're seeing a divergent message in the indexes. And from a zero TTE perspective, I call this lack of alignment between the indexes. I know it's very green at the moment, but it's all over the place. So this rally and bullishness is hollow at best. And given that we're still, fearful of a dead cat bounce pattern happening, yeah, I'll be scared. We got to see what we do with the 200-day moving average. And if it stays above it, you could see it, you know, rubbernecking up all the way to the 500-day moving average and then collapsing. So, moment of truth, moment of truth. All right. Um, let's go back to our notes. And VIX is at 22.32 right now. Very boring, but it still pays the bills. All right. Let's go to fear and greed. So yeah, I don't like the aggregate score that's so high at 62. It's almost like April never happened. I don't get it. But yes, yesterday was 56, a week ago 41. A month ago was 3. A month ago, guys. Crazy. 1 year ago was 38. So there is some seasonality happening. And here's our 125-day moving average. It's triggering extreme fear, but CNN thinks there's nothing to worry about. Um, what else? Here is the Heidenberg Omen looking at 52-week extremes for the New York Exchange. And while this looks better, this might be a temporary high at best. And looking at a more median-esque value, here is the McKellen Stock Ref Index. And it's telling us that stocks are improving. I'm gonna call bullshit on this one. And does CNN have an incentive to lie? Are you kidding? Where have you been, homeboy? We were suspicious of CNN since 2015. We didn't call it the Clinton News Network for nothing. But yeah, a little suspicious. So yeah. Or sus, as the kids say. All right. Yeah, I mean, when the Heidenberg Omen looks good, like, what the fuck? All right, what the fuck? All right, moving on. Single stock fragility is again another key word that I want you guys to be careful of. And when you're picking, when you're trying to decide between index and ETF or an individual ticker, focus on, or just in your head, ask yourself, how would binary outcomes affect my performance? Just think about that for a second. So with the single picks, it's going to be extreme volatility. For the indexes and ETFs, less volatility. So yeah, um, hopefully that helps your entries and exits. All right, pivoting to the Stock Traders Almanac. Here's the fun part of the show where I get to read 3 passages. All right. May Almanac. May-June disaster area between 65 and 84 with S&P down 15 of last 20 Mays. 85 to 97 May was the best month with 13 straight gains, averaging 3.3% year on average. Worst 6 months begins with May. Blah, 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 blah. Dow Memorial Day weekend record is 12 years in a row. And since 1950 presidential election year, May is ranked number 9 for the Dow, number 9 for the S&P, and number 8 for the NASDAQ. And when is Memorial Day? 225 Memorial Day. It is May 26th. Oh, it's also Mother's Day this weekend. Awesome. When is Father's Day? June-ish? Okay. All right, here's June. The summer rally in most years is the weakest rally of all 4 seasons. Week after June, Triple Witching Day, Dow was down 26 of the last 32. Recent record, S&P up 12, down 9. Summer doldrums begin in late June. Watch for watch out for end of quarter portfolio pumping on the last day of June. Dow down 18 of the last 32. NASDAQ up 9 of 12. Presidential election years ranks June for number 4 for the S&P, number 5 for the Dow, and number 2 for the NASDAQ. And then June ends NASDAQ's best 8 months. So yeah, index rotation strategies. And what is May 8th, the new federal holiday? I didn't quite catch that reference, Ross. what's the date today? What is Trump news? Wait, what? Wait, what's the holiday for? Paywall. Wait. Oh, commemorates the end of World War One, World War Two. Oh, we're copying the Russians now? Okay. Um, oh, I didn't know, but that Orson Wilde quote, there's like another phrase that's kind of important. Um, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. There's like another chunk of the line. Uh, it changes everything. The full quote changes everything. Hold on, let me get you the full quote. Here we go. Here we go. I don't know why it's cut off. Like I'm a writer. Like I don't do shit like that. Um, but yeah. Imitation is the singus is the sincerest form of flattery that mediocrity can pay to greatness. Mediocrity can pay to great. Like that's the ending transitional phrase that's left out. Like I don't know why people cut that off. It's actually really important. But yeah. Okay, that's June for you. Let's go to July. July is the best month of the third quarter. Start of second half brings an inflow of retirement funds. Not anymore. First trading day, Dow up 28, the last 32. Graph above shows strength in the first half of July. Huge gain in July usually provides better buying opportunity over the next 4 months. Start of Nasdaq's worst 4 months of the year. And yeah, we'll skip that last line. Okay. Let's read between the lines for a second. Inflow of retirement funds. That's IRA products and the ERISA Act, whatever's. And adjacent to retirement inflows or outflows is healthcare enrollment or lack of enrollment, which is why we have been talking about UNH. Um, and here's UNH's chart really quick. So yes, if you're wondering why the tech layoffs are so bad, kind of see it. And I showed the other chart, right? Tech job listings are horrific. 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 Right here, right here. We're going to fast forward, but here's year-on-year change in US tech employment, and here's the aggregate. We're basically at lockdown levels. So, in case you can't find a job, it's really not your fault. And China has been a canary in the coal mine. So we saw youth unemployment spike over there 2 years ago. And every year there's, another new 11 to 12 million new college graduates from the fancy fake Chinese universities. So yeah, whatever problems China's having, we will have in a big way too. Okay, let's go back to the almanac. And yeah, so we read that, and here's July. We read that, and let's look at our post-election year seasonality. Shout out to Ross again for this chart. We're right here in May, so effectively the first week. So yeah, we're on that nice positive rocket ship. There should be a drawdown at some point mid-month. That might be the big trading desk cartel attack. And I've been watching for them in the last sort of 15 minutes of every day. And did you guys notice? At least for me, Schwab has banned futures buying and selling the last 15 minutes of the trading day. Did you guys notice that? That's kind of dirty. FINRA should be just revamped and overhauled. It's such bullshit. But yeah. So yeah, look out for like a bloodbath somewhere next week. All right. Sector rotation. If you guys have fun individual tickers, let me know. We'll throw it into our thing. But here's our weeklies on the 1 year view. What's improving, what's not? Let's stack the chart. Technology improving. That's fair. Here's healthcare. And the biggest sector leader here is also United Healthcare, UNH, which we just looked at. So obviously this is adjacent to actual hiring and firing in the economies. And if UNH isn't doing well, no one's doing well. And you also have to remember, Where do 401ks and retirement inflows come from? It comes from the HR rep because for 90% of folks, that little 5 minute, 15-minute pitch during their orientation is as much financial education they will ever have in their freaking human existence. It's terrifying, but that's true. Um, that's why people stay kind of married to, Vanguard, Fidelity, and whatnot. And to be fair, there are different qualities and connotations to these different fund managers. So at least they're not, rocking and rolling with, iShares from private equity firms like BlackRock, Blackstone. I always get them confused. Okay, anyway, let's grab the screenshot for our notes. And I know Dave's gonna complain, so let's get him the daily charts as well. Is he here yet? Oh, he is here. Okay.
I just got here.
Welcome, welcome. Let me share the notes for you. Sounds like you're waiting for the coffee to kick in too.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right. Adenosine reuptake inhibitors. That's what coffee fundamentally is. It doesn't let your brain send "I'm tired" signals to the heart. Okay. Enough of Dr. Wong. Let's drop this. Oh, why did that image not transfer correctly? Let me redo that. Uno momento, por favor. I used to speak a lot better Spanish. I worked at the flea market like my whole life. The Berryessa one. Okay, let me grab that chart again. There's nothing quite like seeing your semi-illiterate grandfather speak broken Spanish at the flea market. That's a trip. In a Cantonese accent. It's just hilarious. Okay. Individual tickers. Anyone got them? I'll drop it in here. If not, I will run with what we got so far until someone says something. And I'm watching my 0 TTE and we're decaying beautifully. All right. Nugget here, our Canadian Gary was that's one of his big holdings for gold. Shout out to him. Palantir doing well, and poor kid that lost $40,000. He just didn't figure out the timing. And homeboy, you should have been selling options instead of buying them. All right. DJT doing well. Oh, God help us all. What's not doing well? What is it again? DGNX? I think this is one of Ross's things. I forgot. Widowmaker number 2. Remember, first is the worst, but second is the best. So yes, Widowmaker for the win right here. And then my primary silver miner, First Majestic, still drinking canal water. God help us all. But yes. Oh, Jev. Let's add Jev. What is this Jev? Sounds like a Guju ticker. Where is Jev? I don't see it. Where are you, Jev? Did it not come in? Oh, Gev. Sorry, Gev. Gev's number 3. Holy cow, what is this? What is Gev stock? Is this an IBD, darling? 399. What is this? Let's see. Let's go to profile. What are you, sweetheart? What do you do? You're in Cambridge. That's not good. Specialty industrial machinery. Oh. Oh, it's a G subsidiary that's public? You can do that? I guess there's SPACs and bullshit. Why can't you do this? You call Goldman Sachs for a roadshow. They'll take a steep commission and then give you what you want.
So no, so GE split into 3 companies. GEV, which is Verona, is one of them. Then you have the GE as in GE, and there's one more. because GE is now just aerospace. What was? Oh yeah, GEHC, healthcare. So the three-way split, and all three are doing fantastic.
That's interesting. I didn't know they had a split. When did this happen? Uh, where is the split? What year was this? Uh,
And GEV is one of the companies which all the mags are tying up with for their energy needs.
I see the solar and stuff. Okay.
Nuclear,
Yeah,
all of that.
electrification, accelerators. Interesting. Okay. All right, so 2018 they did this antitrust split thing. Okay, good to know. Um, Interesting. Okay, didn't know about this. Very cool, sir. Any other tickers? Let me grab this. Oh wow, our table's too big. That's what she said. Ha 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 ha. Okay, great. Any other tickers, guys? Let's take a quick gander again. MicroStrategy's doing well. Nugget, our 2Xer. Yeah, okay. Good stuff. Let's close this.
So you just closed it. Can you get the really fast one?
Oh, I forgot. Okay.
I think there's an hourly, a daily and an hourly.
Oh God. Yeah, I mean, how fast do you want it?
I I just want to see it.
Oh, okay.
I want to be able to look at it. I don't want to have to ask you for the account number or password.
Here's the besides the outlier, here's the actual.
Yeah, squeeze it way in. Still
Okay.
left.
Is that okay?
Yeah, it looks fine.
Okay. Here, I'll drop this. Okay. I'll leave this here for you, Dave. Cool. All right. Back to our notes.
So
Uh,
that's all tradable.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean the up and the down is how you identify tradable.
Speaking of tradable, here's earnings today. Here's the Nvidia darling back in the day. Uh, Coinbase, Cloudflare, Mara, holy cow, Affirm, Pinterest, Lyft, Rocket Lab, Dropbox, HubSpot, incredible. Microchip Technology. How many layoffs did Microchip have? Holy shit. They're right next to the Alviso side of the 237. And then tomorrow, I don't recognize most of these tomorrow. Uh, I guess most of the action is today. Okay, good to know. Again, Fridays are weird. But yeah, running a little shy on time, but yes, Ford share slide after net income plunge, suspended guidance. EV losses and production halts took a toll on the company. Yeah, don't say. Okay. Let's check out what the kids are trading today. Man, I am really hungry. That's a little unusual. All right. All right, let's see. The kids are trading Tesla, Nvidia, Google, GLD, Google, Palantir, Apple, JD.com, the Qs, Boeing, MicroStrategies, Carvana, Hims and Hers. What's QBTS again? AMD, Reddit, Robinhood, BTC, Meta, Disney, Amazon, and Woof. Interesting. Um, just from a glance, fairly green, but there is a lot of pushback against bullish topics, looks like. This is a false positive, but still, it's overwhelming. It's slightly negative overall. So this key buzzword and all these different threads and whatnot, yeah, it's being counted. Okay, good to know. Let's go back to our macro news and our older beloved screenshots. Here's the pre, see, this is the pre Q1 NVIDIA earnings pickup, which is still very educational. And if you know anything about the crowds and retail, they're always late to the party. And this might be the end, folks, right? Really be the end. All right. We kept our older screenshots still, but yeah, let's get to the fun stuff. So yes, Jerome Powell. I know all of us were collectively disappointed that Powell didn't raise rates 500 basis points like he needs to, but yeah, Trump keeps goading him to lower rates, and solving a debt problem with more debt is not a winning solution, Donny boy. But he just wants short-term activity, and Donald still has bosses, so what can we do? But yes, Powell is citing concerns on uncertainty and the uncertain about U.S. tariffs as well. So I'd say Powell was relatively measured yesterday overall. Okay. Um, yeah, we'll see what happens. And then we talked about dry bulk shipping. Shout out to Adolfo for educating us on the Peruvian transcontinental railway that is also going to connect that deep water blue port in Peru. So, yes, we are seeing a redrawing of global trade logistics. And even though the Chinese have started this, they're not going to finish this build or any of their Belt and Road initiatives. If you see what's been happening in Southeast Asia and Africa with Belt and Road, it's a disaster, an unmitigated disaster. So it was never going to be successful upon completion, let alone finish. So yeah, we've gifted Peru and Brazil a bunch of half-completed railroads effectively. Okay. So that's that. Let's go to the Black Swan list. We do have an update. More BRICS rhetoric from Xi Jinping and Putin. And even though this is a cordial meeting, relatively speaking, from a logistics standpoint, they're barely friends. So we'll talk more about this in the China section. But yeah, it's their relations are souring quickly. Pivoting to theaters of war, lots of updates on India. All right, now we might need our Indian correspondents to chime in. So yeah, let me kind of lay the groundwork here. So Pakistan has a TERROR IST cells, and a bunch of them, and they attacked Indians. And the Pakistani government didn't really address that or correct it. And then Modi and the Indians are calling bloody murder and want to retaliate. But what this really is, it's a proxy turf war between major superpowers. So Pakistan is aligned with China, God help us all, and India is more aligned with Russia because India is the go-to middleman for flipping the Russian oil. Because China doesn't buy as much oil as you think. They buy from Iran and Venezuela, among other folks. Uh, so yeah, it's a little convoluted. And the key takeaway are the US jets that were shot down. Yes, these are not F-35s or F-22 Raptors, but these are still F-16s and 18s that were shot down fundamentally. So the real thing we want to discuss is the Chinese missile batteries. And then somehow, even though Pakistan and India declared it a no-fly zone, this Ethiopian Airlines is going to Beijing. And I promise you, there are some high flyers on board. And they called in advance to let Beijing know they're coming because they're on official business. And Beijing probably smacked Pakistan upside the head, like, you better not blow this plane up. Like, I promise you, there was a conversation like that. because no chicken shit Ethiopian pilot's going to fly into a war zone without reassurances and cash payments. And then I saw that a couple Saudi planes followed this guy too, which tells you some other things. But yeah, okay, good times. So yeah, here's a Chinese missile battery itself, the actual equipment and hardware. Unless you're a hardware junkie, you're not going to care. But if you read between the lines, uh, this is kind of interesting. But yes, Chinese missiles have taken down U.S. sourced jets on the Indian Air Force. Kind of a big deal. Yes, meanwhile, MAGA in the desert is heating up, and God help us all, Mr. Fink is going, and Elon Musk. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And pivoting to more theaters of war, here's the Russian side. Some 600 drones were attacking Moscow, and it's the biggest drone attack in human history. And Russian air defense systems swatted them all away like flies. Kind of interesting. So, this is the Victory Day ceasefire. This is celebration of, I believe, the post-World War II conflict from the Russian-Soviet perspective. But yeah, it seems like our US peace deal for Ukraine is just war by another name. And Dick Cheney is very happy. So again, if Dick Cheney's happy, your foreign relations are upside down. This is kind of like Greenspan, who unofficially, I mean, this is going back to the 80s, right? Who unofficially said he looked, even though the US dollar's not gold backed, he looked to the gold market as a barometer of his policies. So if gold climbed to $400, he was too tight. If it was below 300, he's too loose. So, oh wait, did I flip that? I think I flipped that. But yeah, I think you catch my drift. Okay. Meanwhile, we're wiping out critical infrastructure in this Israeli versus Yemen tit for tat. And there's this funny little thing about Canada here that dropped here. But yes, only 40 million people just become a US state already. Oh, good morning, sir. Um, only a certain part of the world is allowed an ethno state. Everyone else is just called bloody racist. Okay, whatever. All right, pivoting to currency news. Let's start with dollar strength. We haven't talked about this since last week, but we got to look at this. And we've had some brief improvements over since last week, but relatively speaking, it's been quite unpopular. And if you guys remember the original rhetoric in November, we were anticipating a high dollar strength position with increased tariffs and whatnot. And effectively, we've instead detonated a foreign relations time bomb and pissed off everybody. And everyone wants to dump US assets because they hate us, and I don't blame them. We are the real T word, right? TERRORIST. Okay. Here's crypto, $100,000. Right now it's 101,845 as we speak. Slightly lower than when we started. But here's the key takeaway. Here's inflows versus outflows of IBT versus GLD. And it's sad that GLD is still not getting the love that it deserves or the respect. But we are approaching Chipotle levels of share prices with physical gold. So it is slowly but surely the market is changing. And then speaking of safe havens, there was an amazing 10-year auction that was flaring up. I did see Faraz picking up some shorter term IOUs, but yeah, this is a no-brainer, guys. These are decent, strong, attractive yields, and good times. Pivoting to I think that's it for major currency news and whatnot. Questions, comments? Okay, let's go to domestic news. And let me pull up our XRT ETF while we look at this. Last week, 69.28. Looks like we have improved this week. Let me drop this in the here we go. Oops. 5.8. Oh, no. 5. May. Okay, here we go. All right, cool. So US retail is a little bit up. And again, Amazon's in here, Home Depot's, Lowe's, I think Tesla's in here. This is not how I would build a retail fund, but this is one easy way to look at it. Um, and again, pivoting to more domestic news, if you're a US citizen and a paying taxpayer, you should be upset that the illegals are getting money even to leave. Like, how about I don't shoot you? Yeah. And then pivoting to more fun stuff, the Spain situation was very complicated. There was geopolitical things happening there. They turned down the weapons sale to Israel, and then the power turned out. Suspicious, a little bit, but also they don't have self-starting uh, power plants. Aside from, I think there's 7 hydroelectric dams in Spain. 3 or 4 were turned off for maintenance at the time, and only 2 were firing. So it took forever to turn on the whole system. Yeah, so a little bit complicated. And if you don't have a generator, you need to get one in California. There's no reason not to have one. Um, okay. US electricity from fossil fuels dips below 50% for the first time ever. And then, in relation to the GEV spinoff, this is obviously a concern. So, um, if you want to destroy a company, sorry, if you want to destroy a country, just play havoc with their energy needs. So, yeah. Pivoting to more fun domestic news. Here is some commentary from the jewelry side of the house and an interesting picture of their Thailand workshop. Um, this is where a lot of fancy necklaces and whatnot gets assembled. Um, Chinese slave labor, what can I say? Or Asian Thai labor-ish. But yeah. And it's going to be hard to set up US manufacturing. It's just not as simple as a tariff war. You need stability, you need a 10 to 15-year runway, you need stable currencies, you need a favorable regulatory environment. It's just, and you need skilled labor to ramp up. And even US mining for oil and precious metals is having issues. Like, how many geologists do you know under 30? Yeah, that's right. You don't know any. Neither do I. So um, it's going to be a weird squeeze in those sectors too. So yeah, um, Trump is being disingenuous in trying to fix the U.S. manufacturing problem. I think it's a noble cause, but man, fighting NAFTA and all that good stuff, you need more than 100 freaking days. Okay, that's that. Shout out to Texas with a little bit of education for the commies. Sorry, competition for the commies. And then Real ID, I'm sure you're getting the same spam emails to renew that I am. And this is just more ways to punish the American taxpayer because the illegals don't have to comply with this or even pay for uninsured motorist coverages. But for the rest of us, we have to deal with microplastics and California bureaucracy, right? It's a madhouse. All right, consumer debt jumps in March as student debt unexpectedly soars. Good chart here. And again, I know the school loan figures like the back of my head, like the back of my hand, which is it's $3 trillion of school debt, 2 trillion held by the women in mostly worthless degrees, and now they get punished for it. Wage garnishment and everything. And here's consumer credit. And in case you don't know what revolving risk, non-revolving risk revolving, it's a bunch of baloney for it doesn't exist. So revolving credit doesn't exist in a sense that it springs into existence once you sign your credit card receipt or you take out a mortgage. It's revolving credit. It comes and it goes, but it's subject to collateral, and the collateral is yourself. When you sign on a line that is dotted, you are saying, I will fulfill this debt to my creditor. Like that's what it's saying. So from a true money supply point of view, you have to look at M2 money supply plus revolving credit because that is not an insignificant amount. Okay, so this will affect the U.S. consumer for obvious reasons, and women age 25 to 40 most affected. Okay, let's talk Ferrari for a second. Our resident car maniacs are not here. I think that's just me representing everybody. But let me pull up the charts, and I know this ticker like the back of my hand as well. And it's RACE, RACE. And it's had a bit of a surge. Is it warranted from on balance volume? No, it's not. It's a handful of whales doing a pump. It's from what's what OBV tells me. And if we look at the price action, it's a very, very treacherous climb up and lots of dojis, evening star dojis. I'm gonna call bullshit on this one. And you see the ATR here. This is like double clutching your car. You have all these revs and then you dump the clutch and then you zoom off, but you lose that head of steam. So yeah, ATR peaked, breakout happened, and now we're out of air. So it might be time for Warren to short Ferrari. Uh, and if you know anything about Ferrari car buying culture, they're super cunts. Uh, they think they still own the car. It's like, no, mofos, I paid for it. I can do whatever I want with it. But then Ferrari will blacklist you from future new acquisitions. And Rolex does this too. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Okay, bunch of cunts. All right. Um, we do have a sheepdog at the helm, which is good for the FDA. So hopefully Mr. Prasad cleans house fairly quickly. And Oklo is also catching a lot of positive nuclear headlines. So that's good for them. And with this continued evolution of figuring out how to power massive AI data centers, yeah, we're going to see XLE and oil come alive too eventually. Rite Aid still broke. I don't. Are they public still? I don't even know. Nope. I guess not. But yeah, no surprises there. And let's talk Omaha of Nebraska of sorry, Sage of Omaha for a second. And it looks like they paywalled this already. Let's get around this. Oh, if you are curious about Buffett, the best book, like not on his trading strategies, but on his life as a human being, is Snowball. Uh, he's a very despicable grandfather once you kind of get into the middle of the book. He's not a good guy. He pretends to be, he plays one on TV, but he's a cutthroat. He's a snake. He's a white-collared criminal. I'd hang on myself from the nearest lamppost if I could. I just know too much about it, like Wachovia, the cocaine cartels. Warren Buffett had a front row seat to all of that baloney. Washington Mutual, HSBC, he knows exactly what's happening. But yeah, he's still one of the greatest insurance salesmen we've ever seen. Geico, milking the float, building his own annuities in the markets, like smart cat, and does it with options extensively. Um, but yeah, diabolical figure. Let me drop our paywall workaround here. Okay, cool. All right, we got some cool charts here. But yes, here's Warren Buffett's legacy in one chart. And effectively, this is basically he's been doing 20% every year since he started. And he came up as a very scrappy hustler. He was buying Coke by the case, selling newspapers. Um, and SVOG's Warren had an interesting, parallel to that. The flea market, Chinese restaurants, and then starting his own candy vending machine business because I love automated businesses that don't have to be there for. So yeah, interesting parallel. And was that deliberate? Not really. It just worked. Okay, here's Berkshire versus the S&P. Um, Larry, we used to talk about this, right? You used to complain that you didn't buy Berk A shares back in the day. What was it? 2000, $10,000 a share? That's crazy talk back then, right? What is a Berk Air share, a Berk A share worth today? Let me look it up. Here, we'll do it right here. Berk A stock. What is it worth? 774? You could buy a house. That's 1.5 values of the median house in America. That's incredible. But yeah. If you I should reread all of his shareholders' letters just for fun.
Why do you think they don't split this shares?
If you split it, then it's a surrender, right? You're saying technical analysis is better than fundamental analysis. And that would be a divergence of understanding of who Warren Buffett is. You have to remember who his teacher was. Like in martial arts, the lineage is really important. Like with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, we can trace it back literally to Japan. Even at my level. Like it's only five heads from the original masters. Like so and this is maybe credit to Charlie Munger as well. But let's pull up so yeah, sorry. Warren Buffett's teacher is what was it? Security analysis, Benjamin Graham. Uh, can I be anti-Semitic for a second? He's a very cheap Jew from Colombia. I mean, I don't think that's too racist. I mean, literally in the book, he calls it used cigar butts, right? And then Warren Buffett followed that philosophy to with the Berkshire windmills, right? And then that was a dog of a loser, and he kind of overshot. But then um, he turned Berkshire's failing into a victory, which is good. But yeah, Benjamin Graham was his teacher. Long story short, if cash value is higher than book value, it's a used cigar butt, and you can buy this asset this for undervalued. This asset would therefore be undervalued, and it's worth more chopping up into pieces. So the 1980s corporate raiders took this philosophy and added cocaine and hookers to it. So yeah, thanks a lot, Benjamin. But yeah, that's the birth of PE, I guess. Um, is this worth a read? Not really. But yeah. So yeah, to answer your question, yeah, it's a homage to his teacher of saying percentages and ratios are more important than psychological fear of four or five or six tickers on the screen. And if you don't think Warren Buffett is an elitist, you have been drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit too hard. And don't forget, he was always famous for being Mr. Frugal until he bought his freaking Boeing jet. And what did he call it? Miss, he called it the indefensible because he cannot defend against the convenience of having his own jetliner. So you gotta look past the doting grandfather with the ukulele. Like this is a cunning white collar criminal. Um, okay, that's our Warren Buffett diatribe. Okay, moving on. Um, oh, ITB. Let me grab our home builders ETF. It's at almost 93, which is a bit of a rally, relatively speaking. So, but I don't know if this will go anywhere. I mean, who's buying a new home today? Does anyone have any friends in foreclosure? Not enough foreclosure, in escrow. Pardon me. Pardon me. But yeah, here's ITB on balance volume below the zero line, so still bleeding out. This besides the short-term pickup of today. But yeah. Okay. Let's get to the fun tech news, and we're gonna talk Google
Hey,
search.
sorry, I have the TV in front of me here, and I think President Trump just said urges people to buy stock. I'm not listening, I'm just reading. I think he's saying this right now, to buy stock. The last time he said that, the people that bought profited, it was 9% on the RUT, I think, on a day. I don't remember, but
Mr.
anyway,
Schwab himself was there. Yeah.
I think he just said again to buy stock.
Oh no, where is he in the world?
He is in the White House now, I think.
Isru. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh no.
Anyway, if you have zero
Uh,
DTEs, careful, it may jump the market.
yeah. Good, thank you. I'm almost done with my second round trip for the day, but yeah. Okay, all good. Thank you, sir. God damn it, Trump. All right, back to tech news. Let's back to science. Speaking of science, one of my favorite Indian memes is this one. This Ross, do you know this series? This is Beyond Science. I don't know where it's from, but I love this. This Bollywood thing. Yeah. Right here, right here. Come on, come on. Will you load? This is Beyond Science. You know, the power hand gesture and everything. That's so funny. Uh, but yes, when it comes to security analysis, yes, this is beyond science. It doesn't apply anymore. Yeah, let me throw this meme into our thing. I'll add it later, but okay, sorry. Warren's having too much fun here. All right, let's talk Google for a second. So yes, I'm not sure which Apple exec casually mentioned that they want to do search, but after that, there wasn't a single green ticker for the 2 hours afterwards. Bit crazy. So, shout out to uh, Kobe Kobesi Kobesi Letter. I am a big fan of these guys. They do really good work. I would recommend following them. They have great research. Really good stuff. Let me drop this link in the chat. One of my favorite folks, maybe number three or two after Zero Hedge. So I mean, and that says a lot. But yeah, very good as agnostic viewpoint of the market, very balanced, and yeah, good stuff there. Cool. But yeah, Google's throne is being invaded, and is Apple a hardware company, a software company, all of the above? And but yeah, um, Apple does have its own hardware monopoly, so Safari might be seeing some significant improvements coming up. Okay, but yeah, let's take a look at Google today. And let's not forget, the Mag 7 and their friends have a non-hiring collusion agreement in place. Steve Jobs even leaked that memo, if you guys remember. Uh, like we don't hire from Apple or something, if you guys vaguely remember this. So this is to suppress wages. It's just diabolical. Like these tech guys are cutthroats.
Yeah,
Always have been.
it
And we've
is.
just because they give us stock options and RSUs, we're willing to look the other way. But as everyone's learning now, especially super micro, from what Alan's been telling me, there's just huge cycles of boom and bust at super micro, and it's exactly tied to the share price. Like these are very opportunistic chinks uh, at that company and at many others. So yeah, here's Google for you. Let's zoom in a little bit. And that was a vertical elevator drop, like 9%, ripping your face off. It broke the 500-day moving average, and we're right at it again. Very suspicious. And then look at on balance volume. People have been dumping forever. Um, And I don't even know, I get lost between class A and class C. Like I don't even care. But look, no one's buying, no one's going long Google right now, okay? Nobody. Nobody. Only idiots. Only idiots. Okay. All right. Oh, Apple. Sorry. Gotta talk about the other side. In Dave's words, this is a pair trade.
What's the purse trade? Google versus Apple?
Yeah, short Google, go long Apple.
I totally disagree with that, but
I'm just saying, my inner manifestation of Dave just points out
yeah.
the pair trade. Yeah, but anyway, Apple a little bit choppy on balance volume, but a lot better than Google at least. Um, and look at this foiled spring. That is a very dense candle here. They really tried and it still broke. Interesting. Okay.
Those are huge moves.
Yeah.
Trade war, yay.
Good times.
I
Let's talk
said
Tesla.
that to somebody and then they freaked out. That was
Hey, I've been
it's a
telling
time.
people who are coughing, hey, are you vaccinated? You should get one more shot. Diabolical.
Oh, man.
Did you get the flu shot? You should get it. Okay. Sorry. So here's Tesla, right? Very range bound, beautifully nestled in this cocoon of 200 and 500-day action. Testing the shit out of the ceiling.
So, sorry, Warren. I wanted to unmute before, but I was missing the button here. When you said about shorting Google and going long on Apple or something like this, I was thinking here, if the search engine is something that might be lagging on Google these days, it might make sense for them to split the company, right? To spin that off from the company or something like that, right? I don't know, to split the businesses so that the searching doesn't drag the rest of the business, drag down the rest of the business or something like that, you know? So uh, I was wondering yesterday when I was reading the news about them, I was thinking if that could be their path forward in the company, and if they do something like this I think would increase the value of the other businesses aside from the search engine, you know. But anyway, just my comment here.
So
Oh, ex
that's you should think of that as advertising. That's not searching. That's advertising by the leverage you have by being the search engine from everybody. Because they can move things around. And they do.
so let me make a counterpoint. One of my favorite YouTube subscribers in the men's dating area, his name is Coach Greg Adams. He called YouTube the ultimate search engine and the real one. And he's not far off because how do you think of this? Think of Gen Z and Gen Alpha. They're not like us. They don't Google things. They go to TikTok first and look it up there. I am not bullshitting you. Like I've seen girls try to figure out how to change tires. It's TikTok and YouTube, right? It's not Google. Google is probably there's a line of demarcation for adoption and actually like power users and use. And it's very heavy on Gen X and millennials and some of Gen Alpha, and then that's it. It's just a different place now. So if Google becomes a loss leader or something, I still think YouTube will come out and kick ass in a big way. Because if you look at all of bandwidth consumption, it's all for video, and most of it is for porn. And then number two would be YouTube, and then TikTok. So I think that's the real future. So yeah, Google's search monopoly was always going to be contested at some point, and it kind of makes sense now that Apple has the war chest and everything to do this. But Apple's flopped on giant projects too, right? Where's the Apple car? Apple doesn't run the same without Steve Jobs. It's just different. Um, and Tim Cook is, he plays really nice with sovereign nations and potentates all over the world. So it's a Apple and Google are different animals in 2025. But yeah, yeah, we'll have to keep our eyeballs on this and see how this changes. So But yeah, Google is a huge moneymaker. Sorry, search is the main reason for Google's existence. And if they lose that claim to fame, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough. Okay, excellent. We're talking about Tesla, and we're seeing this nice, beautiful box of channel bound activity here. Beautiful. You could not have a cleaner iron condor setup here. Really, you can't mess this up. But yeah, on balance volume, a little bit below the zero line. And even their own investor base is having uh, a mutiny and self-sabotage and all kinds of weird stuff. But yeah, let's take a look at the actual sales figures really quick. And it's 12/13. Yeah, okay. Here's China's monthly sales, exports included. Um, and then how many of us are driving, or not us, but how many Model 3s from China are on US soil? It's like, yeah, that's a scary thought. And don't forget, Teslas are banned in federal level parking lots in China because their recording features are too good. We talked about this a year ago. Okay, but yeah. All right, let's fast forward out of this. Sam Altman's not having a good week. Lots of spies involved. And shout out to Flaw for clarifying WorldCoin. And it's a unholy marriage between dating apps, uh, a sports bookie, and all that shit on a ledger. And yeah, that's very diabolical. So shout out to Indonesia for pushing back in a big way. So some sane money managers over there. And yeah, the match group is involved, which is diabolical. So um, dating apps and pornography is headquartered in Toronto, and it's the same players. It like, don't ask me. I just report the facts. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm not being anti-Semitic. But there's a lot of Jewish influence here. It's a little crazy. 4K porn, free at the top of your nearest phone screen. 4K movies, FBI's involved. Like, it's a little bizarre. It's a little bizarre. But yeah, not these are not good things. Um, if you know, there's another great book, by a very interesting investigative journalist. Um, oh, whoops, not this. Reefer Madness, the book. Sorry, the book. Here we go. Yeah. Reefer Madness is about pornography, sex, and drugs. Kind of fascinating. But yeah. We don't have time to break it down, but I'll leave this in the chat. So yes, OpenAI looks diabolical. Not good. All right, let's take a look at the labor market. And we instituted our true labor market barometer, which is Rick's Cabaret, the only strip club to go ICO. I'm sorry, to go IPO. And they're conveniently headquartered in Dallas. So hey, if Texas strippers with blonde locks and double D tits cannot pay the rent, we are toast. So yes, let's see. Last week was 40.89. Today is 42.50. So slight improvement, but on balance volume still very much below the zero line, and not a good trend. And ATR is halfway, so it's probably gonna keep dropping for a while. Okay, good stuff there. And then here, key takeaway here, Chapter 7 individual bankruptcies are spiking. And yeah, uh, if small business owners are hurting, it's bad. And my DJ business is like non-existent. I don't get inquiries, like nothing, nothing. And then the school season's already ended. So, and I have no proms this year. So that I got asked to do. So DJ life is rough too. It's okay. But yeah, here's the coolest analytic I got on actual tech hires and firing. I've never seen these numbers before. I knew it was bad. I did not know it was this bad in the tech scene. So now looking back at the thousands of tech applications that have gone unanswered, makes a lot of sense. So yeah. And here's analytics from Indeed.com. Sweet Jesus. But yeah, we are at pandemic lockdown levels of employment for tech folks. Like, not good news for those of us who kind of miss our healthcare benefits. But yeah, like I was even looking up the U.S. Army Reserves to figure out how to get their TRICARE health coverage. Because as a single op to get health insurance, it's insane. It starts at four figures. Um, I don't know. I gotta go talk to all the full-time traders and like, hey, what do you do for health insurance? But yeah, trying to figure that out because I have some old sports injuries that I want to fix. Okay, anyway, international news. Let's talk Turkey. And we started our nice trackable sectors last week for this. Let me pull up EEM, our emerging markets basket. And this has a lot of China in it, but also has like Brazil and other emerging markets. And as Peter Schiff teaches us, there is going to be a place for emerging markets. And Peter Schiff's whatchamacallit, his more international focused dividend fund is number one in its class. Because Peter Schiff understands contrarian investing. He really does. He really does. All right, let me drop EWZ here and see how that's performing. In theory, let's see. Yeah, Brazil was 27.50 last week. Today, okay, so it's up a little bit. So that's probably related to dollar strength and today's pickup. But yeah. Okay, good stuff. We talked about the desert meetup happening. Let's just double check the dates of travel so we know when Trump's out of the country, and hopefully he doesn't tweet anything. This will be May 13th. That's not a Friday, is it? Um, oh, Friday the 13th is purely a Pope and King John the eighth or sixth beef issue with the Templars. We don't have to get time to get into that, but that king and the Pope borrowed a lot of money from the Knights Templars, the Masonic order, and refused to pay them, and instead burned everyone at the stake after poisoning them at dinner. Like, yeah, not good. Okay. All right. Weird. Okay. But we have this UK trade deal. Who the hell cares? Prince Andrew was banging underage girls and has been blackmailed for it for the last 2 decades at least. And we all knew this. And I don't have time to explain, but Prince Diana was murdered. And her only surviving staff member from that accident, the driver, guess where he is today? He's fucking head of security for AstraZeneca. That's his payoff to stay quiet. Very diabolical. Okay. All right, moving on. And we did this Pakistani diatribe earlier, and now we understand why the royals don't prosecute this well. Because, I mean, prosecute migrant rape gangs in the UK since the 70s. It's because their own crimes are so dark and overlaps that they don't want to punish this other stuff. It's crazy. But shout out to Pakistani cuisine. And I still need to find Fishwari naan. I missed this so good. It's a sweet naan and it's crunchy inside because of the almond rinds and the brown sugar and stuff. Like, I should just learn to make this. I'm a pretty good cook anyway. All right, let's get to oil news. Let me pull up our OVX, which is our volatility of crude oil futures, I believe. I still haven't Ross watched Kurt's crude oil scalping presentation. I need to do that. Okay, OVX while it's loading. Um, it's not loading very well. Okay, I'll let Swap think about that. But yeah, let's take a look at CL. CL today is 60.02, and let me um let me paste this while the other volatility thing is thinking. And again, we've talked about that key trend line to death, right? Of $60 a barrel oil. And look at that trend line. We're just playing with that perfectly. Um, yeah. Dave, comments about the oil or anything?
Uh, I'm amused that it had magic numbers. 60 bounced off. The other one is the premium of Brent is like almost the lowest low. It's only $2.80.
You mean the volatility or
No, the dollar premium. Brent always runs at a higher price than WT.
so it's the lowest. Okay, right now. Mm,
So I think that that's just because of the Saudis um, saying there's going to be more oil and that would not change US.
I see. Okay.
But I mean, it's notable that that's a really, really low. It's $2.80 is effectively nothing. We often run at $7, $9. I mean, in the corner cases.
Okay, good to know. Yeah, let me make a note of that. Rent premiums at record lows of around two-ish dollars.
280
280.
is right
Thank you.
now.
Good to know. Warren, why are you writing this down? So I can remember it. Where's the equal, or the nearly equal to the wavy one? Ah, I forgot the symbol. Okay. Yeah, we'll do the poor man's one. Okay. Liquid natural gas, Widowmaker, key to tariff talks in Asian nations, still developing. We'll skip this. I want to get to the China stuff and we'll call it a day. There's a beautiful GDX chart here. I want to show you guys the trend lines. Very nice. So here's the major gold miners. And yeah, look at that. Beautiful channel, really. And as this sovereign debt crisis keeps unfolding, this is only going to get better and better. So very exciting. Okay. And I did like this sort of histogram with the relative, I guess, issues or not issues, triggers. So historically, yeah, we're in trouble, guys. What can I say? Uh and the line here is beautiful. Dear Jerome Powell, is everything under control? And remember, Alan Greenspan looked at gold to reflect on his policies, and average price was in the 200s at the time. So, yeah, gold is saying something is really, really freaking wrong, and the yield curve is not healthy, guys. It is not. All right, let's get to the
It was
fun.
high 200s.
Sorry, go
It was,
ahead.
it was like 270 to 340
Yeah.
during Greece.
All right,
Not,
finally,
not,
to China
go ahead.
stuff. Yeah, no worries. So yeah, we're still stuck on the 3,000 watermark for Chinese stocks. I know it's been very, very elevated, and you know this is pure monkey business here, right? Because you can't have 100%, percentage tariff war and everything's hunky dory with the stock market. Like, just cut the bullshit. Um, and now you see the A-share Chinese market. Just imagine how much control the banks and Beijing had if they can keep it from a 50% loss. like it's an exporting nation that's not exporting. Your stock market should be cut in half overnight at a minimum. At a minimum, guys. But yeah, obscene. This is obscene. And let's look at the RMB itself. It's having a lot of problems. Uh, Tariff news, 50% China tariff just now. Oh, wow. God, I would love to be the ambassador to China. Can you imagine like me challenging my counterpart to a basketball match to settle trade disputes? I would dunk on their ass. Okay, China. Where's China? China. X.com. China. First American Pope. Oh God, this is not going to end well. Um, I don't see Chinese news, but yeah, we'll figure it
It
out.
was on Financial Juice from New York Post. So,
I love this website so much, Flav. Thank you again for
oh yeah,
this.
yeah, it's amazing.
Uh, if you want to split a elite membership, well, we should talk. Oh, let me write that down. Shit.
It wouldn't help much. Just I stay on the indexes tab, uh, so I don't get so much junk. So that,
The noise. Oh, you're smart.
yeah,
See,
see the red headline.
yeah. Very cool. Oh, what is this? Our headline straight to your Discord server.
Yeah, I
Wow,
was just
Warren.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's delayed.
Warren, you should look at this. Okay.
Yeah, other Discords put it, but I find it quicker just to stay on the website.
Yeah, I'm with you. Okay. All right, let's back to China news. Oh, RMB, yes. So yeah, it is we're bouncing off relative weakness. A little triple tap here, but is there more to come? Sure. But yeah, they they will try to hold the 7 level as long as they can, but I don't think that's realistic. Okay, let's get to our fun actual articles. All right, let's talk geopolitics for a second. So, Russia and China, despite the current meeting of Xi Jinping and Putin, it's a fugazi. So, look, China's ripping off their most important trading partner. Like, why would you do that? Like, they're sending them fake electronic equipment. Like, you think Putin's going to put up with that? Maybe publicly. Like, Putin is very patient. Like, I would have nuked Ukraine like years ago, but yeah, it's just bizarre. So, and we've talked about this before in passing, where they don't enter each other's airspace anymore. They fly the long way to avoid it altogether. So that's not an act of an ally. And if you guys ever played like any like major city building games, like Age of Empires or something, there's this one quirk with your allies. Like you can use their buildings to hold your supplies to make drop-offs. And that's only with your good allies. And even video games understand that there's allied relationships, and even China doesn't, won't play along. You know, China's always been that crazy ex-girlfriend. Like, what's the official stance is wolf warrior diplomacy. Like, quit smoking your socks, guys. But yeah, so China's in trouble, and pissing off Russia is not good for business. But what do you expect from a bunch of certified criminals and gangsters called communists? All right. And then I kind of talked about this in the highlight reel quite a bit. But yes, banks are going up in smoke, let alone being blockaded by tanks. And I forgot to write this in the notes, but um, so the rural banking system I found out is a little bit different from the tier one cities. In fact, they're not allowed to operate in the nicer areas. So when that segment goes, it goes in isolation. So country rural banks, there's some 30, it's like almost 4,000 of them. And they're imploding one at a time. They call it mergers and acquisitions to make it sound better, but no, they're fundamentally insolvent and just imploding because um, the government coffers that fed the shadow banking and all these dirty bonds that they underwrote, blah, 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 blah. All of it was fed by land sales. And we've looked at the metrics before. When you sell real estate in China, 50% goes to the local municipality in the form of a commission. They call it a land sales tax. So obviously that funding source is completely dried up with the $70 trillion worth of worthless tofu quality buildings. And I kind of explained that in the context of historical China in the 5,000 years of continuous bullshit history, people have been robbing capital cities blind forever. And how do you cover up the crime? You light the scene of the crime ablaze. And the genetic eunuchs have been doing this forever. It's very well known that when you want to hide the scene, when you want to hide what's stolen, set the palace on fire. And what did we do on September 10th, 2001? $2.3 trillion. All right, I'm just gonna leave that there. But yeah, so in the context of China, I absolutely understand what's happening. And again, I don't want to be right on this, but I am. Mass graves are right around the corner.
So
Just
to go ahead, I want to summarize the
oh, that's
local.
it. That's it. Go ahead, please.
So the local banks can't make loans to anybody. That's the big one. So if they don't have local borrowers, they're trapped with all of these deposits that they're not getting returns on.
Right,
That's
and there's
that's the crux
interest.
and blow.
Right, and China has one of the highest savings rate on the planet, 34%. America's like -2. So yeah. Um,
So to stop poaching, between the little places and the little places not funneling the money to the local economy and shoving it off into the cities, they're not allowed to loan anybody but their local region.
right, exactly. So Dave's seen this research too. And then they also have their own Chinese RMB carry trade between the banks because they set the rate. Like again, like the reason we kick ass in Trader Talk is because your boy Warren is ex-CCP. I've seen the fucking timetable from my uncle over looking over his shoulder. Like they have a Gantt chart. They'll tell you when they devalue the currency. All the commie cadres get the schedule, and then they sell the information to their networks. Like this is how they run it. So yes, China has a very fucked up RMB carry trade that they've and what's the cost of this? They can't export the inflation. So the poor people just gotta die. And they do. And that's why it's a tragedy. Like it breaks my heart. And that's why every time I went to China as a kid and teenager as a young man, I always felt guilty to be born on the other side of the ocean. Because look, the 2010s, it looked like the party would never end. It was like the roaring 20s in China. I felt poor there. But look at them now. They can't even fucking buy rice. But yeah, it is a horror show. And mass graves are right around the corner. So yeah.
So I'm predicting this forever. Look at everybody should watch The Princes of the End.
Let me drop the
The
link
good part
again.
is the good part is basically when the banking crisis of Japan melted down and how the big banks all gobble up everything and the government has to end up owning all of these loans.
Yeah,
This was always going to happen in China.
right.
And
And
I've known this for almost 10 years.
and look at this right here.
15.
Rick's Cabaret, another barometer adjacent. Fresh video from China Unvarnished. 20 million Chinese cocktail waitresses cannot pay their rent. Like,
Well, and that was sort of like the last thing before you start taking your clothes off. And
and
the taking your clothes off is super saturated, is what I heard.
it used
You
to be
know,
very efficient, but the price of pussy has plummeted now.
but the girls who have the great dresses and the fake boobs and everything, that whole marketplace is super saturated.
Yes, it is.
So I mean,
Yes, it
they
is.
can't compete with the $5 local prostitutes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me drop the Princes of the Yen in the chat box. So we're seeing a confluence of economic stagflation across the oceans. All right. Meanwhile, here's the first thorium reactor It looks like they're testing it in the Gobi Desert. I'm sure the Mongolians are thrilled. But yeah, they're using molten sand as the coolant. Okay, that's smart. Yeah, thorium doesn't melt down like the other older like reactors. Um, yeah. Okay, we're not gonna get too deep in this, but yeah, that's the key headline here. And yeah, container ships, we'll have to track that. But yeah, dry bulk shipping, maybe we should be shorting all of that. But yeah, that could flip too
Whoa.
soon. We'll see how it goes. Um,
Shorted. Wow, I never saw that one. I'll go find it.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, um, here's China today trying to cut rates and desperately trying to solve this tariff problem. And again, uh, if you think about it this way, in the commie cadres, Xi Jinping has broken the number one rule. Uh, the spice must flow. You need to keep the money flowing. That's how Xi Jinping stays alive. And he's not doing a good job. Like, remember, he released COVID to stop the 2018 and 19 Hong Kong summer protests. That pissed off a lot of his friends. Then he locked down Beijing and Shanghai for 3 years. That pissed off a lot of his friends. And now he's playing like a crazy psycho ex-girlfriend during tariff talks. That pissed off a lot of his friends. He's lost to everybody. He's lost his top military cadre repeatedly. He's and effectively the military's cut off from him. He doesn't have a say so anymore. And his stupid plans to invade Taiwan will never come to fruition. It's an impossibility to take Taiwan. I know the official stance. I've sat in the banquet rooms while they're talking about it. They're going to invade Taiwan, but it seems like the military is fighting against this because they don't want to send more Chinese kids to die. And they got their own problems to worry about. So, um, yeah. So,
So
but me,
can you measure the opposition to Xi?
measure you have to write down like in these certain posts which house they're aligned to, and there's different factions, and even among the Beijing community there's different generations and different
Yeah.
sides of the factional war.
Okay.
Beijing's not unified either. It's hard to do. It's a crazy like it looks pretty psycho. I just kind of
Okay.
know it offhand because I
Gangster,
yeah. Okay.
feudal lords, gangsters.
It's like Game of Thrones but with crazy chinks. And everyone's backstabbing everyone. Oh no no no! It's kind of like the Warring States period of Japan, where like the lords of these houses would backstab each other like crazy, but in their household, their soldiers, it was like draconian top-down authority. Shogun, the series kind of displays this in a decent light. It's kind of like that. And if you're on the wrong side of the war, it doesn't matter. You can't buy out. It's over. Like Jack Ma has been relegated to figuring out ready-eat meals for the People's Liberation Army. Like that's a major demotion. It's like either do that or die. He's like, okay, okay, I will move back from Japan. Just don't kill me and my family. And that's the implicit agreement. But yes, let's go to the charts. Pardon me, we're talking too much. FXI. When will this ab finally have the rip your face off bear collapse? I don't know. A lot of folks are vested to not let that happen. So yes, uh, my Alibaba long puts are not having a good time. I should have just sold credit spreads. But yeah, I don't think this will last either. So we'll see. And even if let's say it's a miracle tomorrow, Xi Jinping complies to everything Donald Trump wants in this tariff tit for tat. It doesn't change China's future. It's been over for a long time. They're not coming back, and you've wiped out the middle class and the entrepreneurial class. So who's going to rebuild the country? Nobody. And you've rewarded all the thieves and gangsters. Like, how do you think this story is going to end? But yeah, that said, there's hundreds of millions of Chinese slaves stuck on that side of the ocean that cannot leave. and I don't know what to do. Like I feel immensely guilty. Like I was born in the USA. I won the genetic lottery. And I got out of my cycle family. Like I'm the nephew that got out from Godfather Part 3. I did not take the throne. How many kids can say that? How many kids have turned down $100 million before at age 25? Like, I'll just wait right here. But yeah, I'm still waiting for Alibaba to fall apart. So yes, for Chinese tech, still bubblicious. But for Chinese EVs, that's where you can do some good shorts. So Li Auto, NIO, like these are still good players here. So I'm just waiting for the right technical setup here because I saw the rally and I was like, I can't fight that right now. So yeah, guys, that's all I got. Let's look at this last comment and we'll call it a day. Sorry, a little bit over time. And since my zero TTE all closed, I didn't mind just talking and talking. What is this? I'm happy to share. I'm starting a new position. Oh my God! Even the Pope is doing LinkedIn bullshit. I mean, there's a bunch of LinkedIn jokes, right? Like, oh, what did your divorce teach you about B2B sales? It's just like all these dumb posts. Oh, this is hilarious. Thanks, Ross. Thanks, Ross. I think we all get the LinkedIn humor because like I want to vomit every time I look at people's bullshit on LinkedIn. Yes, it is very much a LinkedIn circle jerk. All right. Very cool. We'll end it there. So yes, it is May, guys. Please stay hedged. We got a crazy POTUS in the office. Gold's on fire, markets unstable. We got theaters of war everywhere. Debt-based problem being solved with more debt. And yeah. So yeah, stay safe out there, stay
Hey,
hedged, buy gold. Yes, go ahead, Dave.
can you make sure to post the chat log?
Oh, you got it. You got it. I'll do that right after.
I can't do that anymore because
Okay, I'll post, and then I owe you guys last week's recording, which I uploaded and didn't label, but I'll post all that to Discord and I'll upload today's episode today and get into Discord. And I
Hey,
will. Sorry, go ahead. Come, Adolfo.
sorry, Warren, are you after you finish your talk there? Are any planning to meet this summer sometime, in person, the whole team, or not?
Oh yeah, yeah, I do. I've just been taking care of other stuff. I haven't been thinking about that, but I definitely want to get together with everyone. Yeah, yeah, no, we'll do like a hangout. No, no, that's a good idea.
I
Sorry,
think summer is good now. We can do lunch or early, lunchtime or early dinner time or whatever, a happy hour. But summer is good.
yeah, school's out and stuff. I'm with you. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, not a problem. We can absolutely do something fun. And what did Ross say? Septic tank has a value. LI Lee Auto. Um, does the septic tank have value? We'll have to ponder on that. But yeah. Good times. Oh, sorry. We have to talk about Hong Kong. So I'm not Hong Kong, Taiwan. Holy shit. I'm still piecing together. I've seen the official cover stories, but I don't know what's happening from like the intelligence community. I'm trying to keep digging. So yeah. I'll keep you guys posted. But yeah, there was some major reshuffling here. And the irony is this shouldn't really affect Asia. Unless, here we go. Beautiful. Taiwan said the banks this is not very likely in the near future, save for a huge geopolitical shock event. Maybe like a nuclear exchange between India and Pakistan would fuck up everybody's day. So yes, VIX should not be 22 right now. It should be like 80 or at least 60, okay? So yes, risk is being underpriced in the market. Please trade accordingly. All right. Well, thank you guys. It's been a really fun episode
Hey,
with you guys. Oh, go ahead, Adolfo,
af-
question?
after you finish, read the latest one from Trump to raise taxes on people that make more than $2 million. That's going to be interesting to see. Anyway,
Oh,
they
oh,
hide their money anyways.
huh?
yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
They
That's
hide
true.
their money. They run it into corpse and
yeah.
trusts and all this other bullshit.
Taxing the rich doesn't work. You cannot eat the American rich. They're too nimble.
Like the paychecks go into trusts and stuff.
Exactly.
After they paid the taxes once, the money's never seen again.
Panama Papers, anybody? Fuck the Epstein file. Let's talk Panama Papers. That's more important, but no one wants to discuss that.
Yeah. All right, Warren. Thank you, man.
Yeah, good stuff.